All right, so starting to record. So welcome everybody to the Friday live with Dr. Twyman. So um, don't have a full-on presentation today. It's mostly just going to talk about kind of circadian rhythm management, optimal sleep, helps your immune system, helps with heart disease prevention, helps with working your system so that if you end up coming out with COVID, you're hopefully going to be able to do better with it. Um, So I think everybody who's on here mostly knows me, but I'm Dr. Twyman, a board certified cardiologist. I'm a heart attack prevention expert, also a biohacker and health optimizer, and now not an expert, but done enough to be dangerous and read a lot of data on primary data on COVID-19. So I have a decent understanding of what's going on with it and where we're likely headed over the next few months. So we haven't seen any of my videos on this topic, it's on my YouTube channel, Michael Twyman MD. There's a list of all the various talks I've done like 2 or 3 a week for the past couple of weeks. But today, mostly just want to talk about optimizing your circadian rhythm and then open up to any Q&A. Your circadian rhythms are your 24-hour cycles. You make different hormones, neurotransmitters, different chemicals through your body throughout the day. And two major things that set those things are the light that enters your eye and hits your skin, as well as the time that nutrients come in. So, hit the nutrient one first. Anything that you put in your mouth in the daytime uh, sets the clock for the day. That isn't water, I should say. So, you have literally circadian clocks in your liver and gut. Once they see nutrients come in, they turn on certain cellular processes, make different proteins and different hormones. Ideally, you stop eating 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed and constrict it into a 12-hour window or less. After that 3 to 4 hours, those liver and gut clocks turn off. No more deliveries are coming into the system that night. Then they can get into the business of repair. Your body repairs itself while you sleep. And if you don't sleep well, or you have issues with your blood sugar, or your body composition, you stop eating 3 to 4 hours before you normally go to bed, you should notice improvements even if you don't change up anything that you eat. And I frequently recommend the book, Dr. Panda's book called The Circadian Code. It explains all the science behind that. So it's one thing that controls your circadian rhythm. The other thing that controls your circadian rhythm is the timing that light enters your system. So you have four major surfaces. It's the eyes, the skin, the gut, and the lungs. And all those surfaces really should be talking to each other by the light that gets sensed. So usually start off with kind of what an optimal day would look like. So you'd wake up, your bedroom would have been pitch black. You shouldn't be able to see your hand in front of your face. You would immediately put on blue blocking glasses, ideally probably the darker pair, until the sun rises, if you're waking up well before the sunrise. Minimize artificial light in the morning time. Try not to look at your screens before sunrise if possible. I know I can't do it, but I try to limit as much as I can. And then once the sun is risen, take your glasses off, go outside, get 10, 20 minutes of sunlight into your eyes directly, no glasses or contacts. That light in the morning time, blue, red, green light, resets your circadian clock in the front part of your brain, and you make your hormones effectively throughout the day. It also starts telling your body, okay, get ready to sleep in 13, 14 hours from this point on. You should be checking in with the sun multiple times a day. I always recommend the D-Minder app to let people know what time of day to do that, to optimize their vitamin D status, but there's all sorts of wavelengths of light that are helpful to set the hormones that don't involve vitamin D. Then when you're inside, doing what we're doing on a Zoom call or Facebook or Instagram is protect your eyes. There's 4 to 5 times the intensity of blue light coming from your screens than the sun does. And that blue light destroys a receptor in your eye called melanopsin. Then you have lower levels of melatonin, higher levels of cortisol, higher stress hormones, your blood's stickier, blood sugar goes up, you're probably not going to sleep very well. So the issue is that you want to control what enters your eyes and make it as similar to sunlight as possible. So when you're in front of things with screens, protect your eyes with glasses. There's software that you can put on your phone and computer. The computer one's called Iris or F-Lux. The phones have night shift and other ways to kind of dial down. My phone I'm using right now for Facebook one actually has the thing from lowbluelights.com. It's a screen overlay. It's yellow, filters out the blue directly. Then once the sun sets, You don't want to have any intense light coming into your eyes, so cut down the overhead lights as much as possible. Consider using amber or red bulbs in rooms that you need to kind of get around and see what you're doing without destroying your night vision. And then an hour or so before bed, probably switch out your glasses to a darker set of glasses that block out all the blue and most of the green spectrum of light. The green spectrum can affect your sleep. So if you're going for optimal, you'd have two pairs of glasses. If you only have one pair, get the one that you can wear all day long then. But the better you control your circadian rhythms, the better you sleep, your mitochondria are able to do autophagy and apoptosis better. Fancy words for recycling cells that don't work. Apoptosis, kill off the cells that aren't doing their job. Mitochondria repair things that have been damaged. If you don't have good sleep, that repair doesn't happen. And the major thing that they use to repair that is melatonin. Melatonin doesn't come in a pill. Yes, it does, but taking an oral melatonin pill gives your body the wrong signal that it was doing the right things from a circadian standpoint. So, if you take oral melatonin because of jet lag, which right now nobody should be jet lagged, but jet lag short term, not really an issue. But if you're long term using it every single night for months on end, there's risk that you can thin out your retina and cause some, retinal bleeding and potentially blindness. So you don't want to be putting hormones in your system unless you know what you're doing. That's kind of my spiel on the kind of optimizing your circadian rhythms with the light that enters your eyes and the timing of your meals. If you get your circadian rhythms right, your immune system tends to work better. You're probably more resilient to being affected by COVID. So that's the prepared part. Do want to thank you for listening to that. Definitely going to open up some Q&A and we'll answer whatever guys you're interested in. For those that haven't seen me previously in the office, I am the owner of Apollo Cardiology. We have an office in Clayton. Right now we're doing our part and doing our stay at home to cut down on the spread. I'm doing well, Cassidy's doing well, so we want to keep everybody well. So everything's gone 100% virtual, just like this, using this exact platform, Zoom. We can share your lab, share any imaging, and go over anything and come up with a plan that helps you not only to reduce your risk of heart attack and stroke, but sending things that tend to help with that, optimizing your sleep, your nutrition, your exercise, your stress, also makes you more resilient to COVID. So if you're interested in setting up an appointment with us, my website is apollocardiology.com. So I'll open it up to any questions. You can either type it in the chat box below, or if you want to unmute yourself, I'll make it so that you can unmute yourself and ask the question live.
Hi, Dr. Twyman.
Hello, how are you today?
Good, good. I haven't been in on the Zooms yet, so I've been kind of busy, working in the funeral business, and we're seeing, starting to see things happen. So just wanted to really kind of just reach out and make sure I'm staying on top of everything that you have knowledge-wise. And I was having a little challenge with the computer, so I showed up late. So I really don't have any good educated questions for you.
No worries. I'm recording this. I'll put it up on my YouTube channel later. It's also going to be on Instagram. So all my old videos are up in the YouTube channel. If you haven't, also I have a private Facebook group. It's just Apollo Cardiology. If people request it and I know who they are, I let them in, and then I share these videos as well as any type of kind of relevant articles that I kind of vet and come from reputable sources.
Along the lines, I guess have you gone over protective wear and different things like that and the treatment of it? And, for instance, there's of course a shortage of masks and different things like that to be wearing. And I have no choice but to be in the public area, and we're still 10 and under people coming in for funeral services. Mm-hmm. And as we start to have our coronavirus funerals, the embalming process kills that, but it doesn't kill that with the people coming in. And so, we've had hand-sewn face masks. We have some of our normal protection, face masks. And is it more important to have gloves or face masks in this situation? Or can you clean the cloth ones? Should you clean them on a daily basis kind of stuff?
So those are great questions. I'll take them kind of one by one. So the data on the mask, is going to come out that they're going to recommend that people start wearing masks in public. Probably didn't make it a blanket statement yet, just because of the shortage, and didn't want to have runs on the mask, so that the first line and responders, the medics, the nurses, and the doctors would have access to these things, because they're the ones who are getting the high exposure. Um, but the mask isn't so much to actually protect you. The mask is so much to protect the other people, because the R naught is still somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to possibly up to 5. And the R naught is the number of people that one infected person can infect. And some people are asymptomatic for a couple of days before the symptoms show up, but they are contagious. So more people were wearing masks, and they were coughing, sneezing, and didn't have any other real symptoms, they wouldn't be able to spread it to other people. It's not necessarily going to protect you if other people, cough, sneeze, and you're wearing this mask, because it doesn't fully filter out everything coming in. It's more what's going out. To really protect you from coming in, you have to wear the full N95 mask, and you need to have that fitted. You can't have a beard that anything could get in the way of it and break in the seal. So the N95s, you have to kind of know what you're doing to wear those effectively. But mask, if you have the option to wear one, I would highly consider doing it at this time.
Is that even include, I'm sorry to interrupt, but does that, if you were to go outside and let's say there's not people around, I mean, are you going to be catching this just through the air, or is it okay?
No, I mean, it's while there's this theory that it could be aerosolized for 3 hours, if it's something's outside and it's a full spectrum day of sunlight, that UV radiation is going to kill the virus in short order. Can't tell you exactly how long, but likely in under an hour, any virus is not going to be alive, because the UV rays destroy the outsides of the viruses and bacteria. Um, so if you're just outside by yourself or in a park and there's nobody around, no, you don't need to wear a mask. It's more when you're inside or crowded around a lot of people in that kind of 6 foot radius, then you'd want to be wearing the mask part. As to the question for the cloth one, I'm not an expert in this part by any means. My mom is sewing some mask herself, but from the data I've seen is that they're not going to filter nearly as well as the surgical mask, and definitely not the N95 mask, but they're better than nothing. The tighter the fabric weave, the better it is. So the tea cloth is better than the t-shirt. And there are instructions online. The New York Times had one the other day. Just search for how to make a mask, and they have the diagrams and what supplies you would need. As for the gloves, um, on the general public, again, it's one of those things that um, if you know how to wear gloves appropriately, you're probably okay. But most people, they get gloves on and they touch too many things, and they start touching their face, and then they don't take off the gloves properly. So if you don't know how to put the gloves on and off, when you're taking them off, it's very easy to contaminate your hands. And then you think, oh, I've been wearing the gloves, I'm okay. And then you touch your kind of T zone, your eyes, mouth, or nose, and then you inoculate yourself, you infect yourself with it. So if you don't know how to wear gloves, you need to know how to do that before you really start feeling confident that you're doing the right thing with them. But I know that there's on on the CDC's website, they actually have a whole section on, you know, about, funeral homes, what precautions should be taken. So I kind of refer to the experts. They have, all the details on their website.
Okay. Thank you for that information.
Sure. Somebody else join on Instagram. Welcome. Thank you for joining. All right. And then a question, what do I recommend for people who wear bifocal glasses throughout the day? Two things. One, when you're outside, just tilt down your bifocal glasses so that the sun just enters the top part of your eyes. And then when you're inside, there are different lens manufacturers that can make ones that fit over your glasses. True Dark is one company that I've recommended in the past. Um, they make ones that are yellow and they make ones that are red. They're not as stylish, but they get the job done. Especially just getting the yellow ones when you would be sitting, in front of a computer for, multiple hours a day, like everybody seems to be doing because of these stay-at-home orders. Is it's even more more important to be protecting your eyes right now, because the better you keep your melatonin levels up, the better your body's able to recover. All right.
So could I just review the protocol with the glasses to make sure that I understand? Preferably nothing before sunlight in the morning, and then to wear the blue blockers primarily all throughout the day. Just have them on all throughout the day, and in the evening past sundown, if you go to a different kind of lens that filters out a different kind. I'm not sure what those are called, the ones where you would switch, but is that pretty much right, that you wear the blue blockers all through the day?
So for optimal, just assume that these are indoor sunglasses. If you're indoors, you should always have glasses on. When you're outdoors, you shouldn't have glasses on. That's the easiest way to think about it. And then, the nuances of changing from the lighter glasses to the dark ones, if you have the availability to get both, um, you want about half an hour to an hour before you go to bed, switch over to the darker ones. The darker ones tend to make you tired, so they're hard to wear, from like 5 p.m. on, and but if you're doing a lot of computer work, it might be more important to wear them a little bit earlier in the day. One doc I'm following right now, he thinks everybody should be wearing the red ones all day long because of how much technology is being exposed to. I find it too hard. It just makes me too tired to wear them. So I just you know see patients who I need to do here, and then about 7 o'clock at night, then I'll usually switch over to the darker ones. Let me see if I have an example of those.
Okay.
This is my older pair. This is like my original ones. I don't wear these ones as much right now. I have Raw Optics makes this frame, and I have their other version of this where it has the red lens, so it's the exact same frame, just different lens. But these are the true dark red ones, the goggles. They're more wraparound, so make you look like the Terminator, or you look kind of insane when you're wearing these out in public. So I only worn these in public when I was on a plane once to try to kind of mitigate jet lag. But these ones, for the most part, everything is looks like extremely red, and it gives the signal to your brain that it's midnight. So if you wear this for a long enough time, your melatonin levels start building up, your adenosine levels start telling you, hey, it's time to go to sleep, and you'll go to bed earlier. So they're really useful for jet lag, especially when you're flying eastbound, 7, 8 hours. You just start wearing these on the plane when it's nighttime to where you're supposed to be, and then your body's more easier to kind of get tuned into their system once you get over there.
Mm-hmm. Now, are those called something different than blue blockers, or do those have another name?
I'll type in a chat box, but those are the true dark ones. I think they call these ones their twilights, I believe is what they call this one. But they are a form of blue blocker, but they just also block some of the green spectrum. So I'll type in the chat box. The only companies that kind of do a good job of actually telling you what they're doing with their glasses are the companies I'm going to put in the chat box. Actually, I don't know True Dark. I think they're actually, this is their website. So those three companies, Raw Optics, True Dark, and Blue Blocks, make the best kind of blue blockers right now. If people, and I personally don't have them, but if you look up Blue Tech lenses, they're the people that make prescription inserts for glasses, so you can have any type of frame, and then they'll make them custom. But there's only, if you go to the website, they tell you what places in St. Louis or wherever you're from do it. But the one challenge with the prescription ones is you honestly don't want to block all the blue all the time, because when you're outside, you want nature's light into your eyes. So if you're wearing blue blockers when you're outside, because those you can't see otherwise, then you filter out the blue. That can actually lead to depression. So if you go outside with prescription blue blockers on, you need to tilt your eyes down so that you're getting some sunlight into the eyes.
So preferably you don't wear any glasses outside.
Preferably not.
Okay. And then if you do have to, if like my regular glasses are prescription glasses, then do all of those companies do prescription glasses?
So Raw Optics can do them. True Dark does not, but True Dark makes ones that fit over prescription glasses, and Blue Blocks will do custom ones.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Got any questions on Instagram? All right. Well, I don't know if there's going to be any more questions. If there are, I'll answer them. But do thank you guys for joining me today. And the next scheduled one is going to be on Monday night, 6 p.m. That's usually more well attended just because I've been doing Monday night ones longer. I was doing more kind of heart attack prevention ones. And then when COVID came out, I just said, well, let me just continue them and kind of give my take on it. So if you have questions about COVID-19, that's usually there'd be a lot more banter about that. But if you have any questions in the interim, just shoot me an email or just let Cassie know, and we'll take care of it. So thank you guys for joining today, and we'll see you next week.